Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and I'm currently coming to you from the on-air booth at IMARC, which is underway in Sydney. Sitting next to me is actually the sponsor of the on-air booth at IMARC. This is Tony Manini, the co-founder of EMR Capital. Tony, it's a pleasure to have you, and thank you for sponsoring this.
Great to be here, Shae. Thank you for having me.
Now, thrilled to have you on because we get to talk about metals and projects that you're interested in. First of all, I've got to talk about gold. Now, obviously, gold is one of the hot commodities right now. Is gold on your radar as an investment?
So, what I would say is we've been an active investor in gold well before now. So we own the Ravenswood gold mine in Queensland, which we bought circa 5 odd years ago. And we redeveloped that asset from a small underground mine near the end of its useful life we've redeveloped it into a very large open pit operation. Now expanded the process plant, and it's on a run rate of around 200 to 220,000 ounces of gold per annum. So a big producer, in fact, Queensland's largest gold producer nowadays. So we have done that in the down part of the cycle, and clearly we're in the up part of the cycle now. So, for us as a private equity investor, we like to buy, we're, very value driven. So we like to buy in the down part of the cycle, and we like to look at exiting those investments in the up part of the cycle. But so are we buying now? Anything that's producing at this time in gold is very, very well valued. Some might say fully valued, others might say fairly valued, but well valued. So where do you find, the way we think is, where do you find value at this time in the cycle? So for us, we've actually made some investments in some developers. So a bit further down the maturity curve, where companies are just really getting their assets in that period where they're developing and bringing it into production. We've come down the maturity curve. We typically haven't invested there previously, but in this part of the cycle, we feel that that's an area where there's still value in the gold space.
So stepping aside from gold at the moment, which I know is hogging a lot of the oxygen when it comes to the junior end of the market, what sort of metals or commodities have you got on your radar right now?
Yeah, so we like big, deep liquid markets is the simple way to say it. So base metals and precious metals are our core commodities. We also own and operate a large metallurgical coal mine in Queensland, the Kestrel coal mine, and we have investments in the potash sector. So I think it's fair to say that, as I said, our core business is really precious and base. So right now, a lot of focus on the base metal sector. We think the fundamentals around particularly copper, everybody's sort of catching on to it now. We've been an investor in the copper space for a long, long time. But, looking at opportunities in the copper sector and other assets, other projects or operations where copper forms a large part of the revenue mix. So let's say, copper and other base metals, copper, cobalt, copper, platinum group elements. So polymetallic things where copper is a large part of the metal mix. So looking at those sorts of things. And again, it's a pretty buoyant market. So again, we're looking, and we've made some investments a bit further down the maturity curve in a bit earlier stage things that we normally would invest in, in the down part of the cycle.
And finally, I wouldn't mind asking about what jurisdictions on your radar. You've mentioned a couple of Queensland projects, and obviously, Queensland's got a great mining environment at the moment. Do you are you only looking at Australia, or are you looking globally?
No. The way we like to describe it is geographically unconstrained. Most of our assets are in Australia at the moment, but we do have investments in the US. So we've made an investment in a smaller gold developer in Utah. We have a potash development in Utah also, and we have invested into a potash development in Spain. So, and we've had assets previously which we've now divested in Zambia. So, we're constantly looking in Canada, the US, different parts of the globe. I guess our big restriction is really safety and security of assets and tenure. So that's the big test. So, you know, if where you've got security of tenure and security of your people, then, you know, we'll look at those areas. And obviously we're not, you know, we're predominantly US capital. So anything that's sanctioned or, you know, fits under some restrictive regime, obviously we're not going to invest there.
Listen, Tony, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you sharing your insights. I look forward to our next conversation.
No worries. Thanks, Shae. Good to have a chat, and nice to sponsor the On Air. Thank you.